Bangkok Panarashibun was using the toilet in her downstairs bathroom in July when she felt a sharp bite on her thigh. She jumped up to see a scene straight out of a nightmare, an 8-foot python emerging from her toilet. She rushed to the hospital, bleeding heavily, and still bears the marks from 8 tooth punctures that were around half an inch deep. That snake was captured. But a week later, Ms. Panara's 15-year-old daughter found a second python in the same toilet. The daughter was so shaken, she went to stay with relatives. It could be argued that snakes have always owned this corner of Thailand, and that the people of Bangkok are merely borrowing it from them. The main airport, Suvarnabhumi, was built in a place called Cobra Swamp, and the city itself took shape on the Jaufraya River Delta, a marshy reptile paradise. But this year, the Bangkok Fire and Rescue Department, which removes snakes from homes, has been busier than ever. As of Monday, the department had received 31,801 calls this year for help in removing snakes. That is more calls than for all of last year, 29,919, and more than the number in 2012, 10,492. On one recent day, the fire department received 173 snake invasion calls, versus 5 fire alarms. "There's no way we could survive if there were more fires than snakes," said Pradol Krongyos, the department's deputy director. The department's figures don't even include the many thousands of snakes that are killed or removed by residents on their own or taken from homes by volunteer handlers. Most of the snakes rescued by firefighters are taken to a wildlife center and eventually released in the wild. Mr. Pradol and the department are nowhere near panic. One reason for the rising numbers is growing public awareness that firefighters can help remove snakes and other animals. It has also been a wet year, even by Bangkok standards. Heavy rains bring a surge in the number of snakes seeking refuge indoors. Flooding can turn city streets into snake highways as the creatures are forced from their hiding places and swim for higher ground. And as the sprawling city of more than 8.2 million people continues to expand into formerly wild lands, the number of snake encounters is rising. Most of the snake removal calls come from neighborhoods on the perimeter of the city where new housing is destroying what's left of the creature's domain, Mr. Pradol explained. When people build houses in their habitat, of course they will seek a dry spot in people's houses because they can't go anywhere else, he said. All reasonable explanations. But casual discussion tends to end when it's your toilet the snake is in. "There are snakes everywhere," said Kanok Praditkarnak, Ms. Panara's husband. "They live beneath people's houses, they live in holes, they live in the wilderness and in the ground. But they shouldn't be able to enter people's houses. The reality, though, is that humans cause snakes much more harm than the other way around. Thailand has more than 200 snake species, including about 3 dozen that are venomous. But most do not pose a threat to people.